Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Spill. This is actually show 2, Tanya.
Yes, it is.
Oh, my God.
Yes,
and
it is.
What an exciting show we have today. I mean, ladies, you're going to love us by the end of this show.
You think?
And I know. And what's going to happen is you're going to send me all kinds of tweets and comments. Don't blow up my iPad after we show you our guests for the day. But before we get started, we're going to open up with what we always open up with, flavor of the day.
Our flavor of the day. Our flavor of today is coffee. It's coffee. Okay, today, let me tell you how this is made, because if you're a coffee lover, trust me, try this, you're gonna love this. It's Folgers caramel drizzle with Cinnabon creamer. Whatever kind of sweetener you put it in, whether I use equal, but sugar, whatever, you put that in, then you put some whipped cream, and then you put just a little swirl of chocolate, and listen to me, okay? You ain't never, McDonald's, Starbucks, who are they? This is some good coffee, okay? Am I right? You had it.
Definitely. Let me tell you something. This is a little more than I expected, but very delightful, very delightful. So, I mean, you can take coffee to the next level. I never thought it. Who would have thunk it? Only in 2014,
Who
right?
would have thunk it? Don't try to. I'm thinking. Don't try to steal at Starbucks.
Okay.
You know.
No, won't do that.
Okay.
Won't do that. Awesome. So this is our flavor of the day. As we said before, if you have something that you'd like to share or see on the show, all you have to do is send us a tweet or check us out on Instagram at Go With The Spill and hashtag flavor of the day. So
That's it.
yeah. So, of course, on this episode of The Spill, we have our fab vocab, and we're going to bring to you a word that might become a really high priority in your vocabulary if you continue to drink too much of this and eat a whole lot of that. Today's word is?
Corpulence.
Say it again.
Corpulence.
And what does that mean?
Corpulence is a noun, and it means bulkiness or largeness of body, fatness. That's corpulence.
Some of you might find that to be not a problem, you know? What was the line? Big, beautiful, and loving it?
Big, beautiful, and loving it, baby.
So maybe some people feel that way, but if you don't, corpulence might not be a word you want to hear, but it is our word of the day. So that's our fab vocab, corpulence.
Okay, and before we get to our, Ed's going to address that. Our guest today is going to address obesity and what you need to do to not have to deal with corpulence. But before we get to that, let's do a little crazy talk.
Okay.
Okay, now, Kobe Bryant and his comments about the Trayvon Martin case. And everybody by now is familiar with Trayvon Martin, 17-year-old that was murdered after he went and got some Skittles and some iced tea, I believe it was. And then this, what was his actual?
I think he was he called himself a Crime Watch guy.
Crime Watch guy. George Zimmerman killed him. Now, Kobe's comment when asked about the Trayvon Martin case was, I won't react to something just because I'm supposed to, because I'm an African American. Okay, Kobe is out of touch. He's disconnected. I mean, first of all, to me, let's take the race thing out of it. How about being a little bit sensitive to a child that was murdered because after he went and got some Skittles and an iced tea? I mean, so you reacting, how about reacting? That's just sad. I don't care what the child's color was. That's sad. You should be more in tune, because that, for the grace of God, it could have been you.
Well, I think it was poor choice of words for any type of tragedy.
Absolutely.
And he's got children of his own. So I just want to think that maybe he's just not as sensitive. My son is 20, you have a son, and maybe because he has daughters, I think he has 2 daughters or something like that. Maybe he doesn't get it, but I just feel like it was inappropriate and a little, more than a little, it was insensitive to the situation. So, but I think sometimes some people don't need to speak. They should just be quiet.
Absolutely.
They should speak through publicist or somebody else who, do what you do best. Play ball. Right.
That's what you do.
That was a little on the wrong side.
And, I could just imagine, Michelle. Let's just say we don't know him, and I've never heard Sabrina Fulton, his mother or father, speak on it. But let's imagine that he was a Kobe Bryant fan.
I know.
You know, I mean, young black
And
boy,
most-
love basketball,
most-
whatever. You
most-
know what I'm saying?
most
Just
students,
imagine, and you say, I'm supposed to react, you got murdered, okay, let me go back to my cushy life, you know, and make my hundreds of millions of dollars. There was, and I tell you, I agree with this guy wholeheartedly. He's a civil rights activist named Najee Ali, and he called for boycott on all products that are endorsed by Kobe Bryant. I'm all for that.
Well, you know what? I don't keep up with that kind of stuff, guys. I wouldn't even know what product it is. I wouldn't even know, but I will tell you this. I recognize that this guy is not all together there. He's suing his own mom.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's about.
Need we say
I
more?
can't even begin to talk about it unless she drove over his basketball hand with a car intentionally. And even then, you don't sue your mom. So anybody suing their mom is a little bit to the left.
I agree.
So anything he has to say is dismissed. Dismissed. Boom. Okay. Crazy talk. That's it. Okay.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, but it's sad because sometimes when you get in, again, I'm familiar with that athlete world. When you get in that world and you think somehow the rules don't apply to you and you don't really have to give your opinion about nothing, you don't get involved in social issues and you don't do this, you just wait for your check and, you know, you throw up your ball and, you know, and it's just, and that's sad because you actually have a platform to be able to address some of the ills in your community just because you can make a basket.
Yeah. And if you cannot address them, like I said, keep quiet. Just keep quiet.
That's right. Don't say nothing.
You know,
Please don't say nothing.
Taking that a little over the top. Okay.
Well,
so
anyway,
is that it for him?
that's it. Yeah, we're going to go to a break. Okay, when we come back, we're going to talk back about back talk. When we come back.
When we come back.
I told you I was going to do that. Just stay with us.
And as promised, guys, we're back with Back Talk. And Tanya, today's Back Talk is around a woman that did something that I didn't even think was humanly possible. I mean, we hear about women having girls, giving birth to boys, giving birth to twins, giving birth to octuplets and sextuplets. This woman gave birth to a cash register. According to Wendy Williams, she's talking about Evelyn Lozada, who is one of the basketball wives, one of the first basketball wives, and she just recently gave birth to a baby boy for a baseball player called Carl Crawford.
Yep.
And according to Wendy Williams, she just very boldly said that baby was just a cash register for Evelyn to bring in a little extra dough. Like it sounds like has been sort of a pattern. I know you can't wait to talk, so I'm just going to stop and let you go.
You know what? Again, first of all, Wendy Williams did what Wendy Williams does.
That's her job.
And that's, you know, gossip, say some really, you know, in your face things. And I guess the funny part about it really is that Evelyn Lozada had been on her show.
Yeah. Yeah.
She had been on her show.
To be friendly.
Apparently
up
so.
until this point.
Until this point. And so she said what she said. And come on, as we said, let's keep it 100. Everybody know what that is. Everybody, okay, most people say, okay, there seems to be a pattern.
I would say a pattern.
Okay, there seems to be a
pattern of her having the ability to date certain people and prosper from that dating.
Yes, and so she prospered pretty prosperly. She prospered. Okay. Now this man is a multi-millionaire baseball player. He gave her a $1.4 million engagement ring.
Wow.
Let me say it again. I just want to see how that sounds for me to do this. $1.4 million. Now, again, I ain't hating. God knows I am not hating. Okay, I'm not hating on that. She likes what she likes.
Cool ring.
It's a fabulous. But the thing, to me, it's not that she got a ring and she's moved on to the next big money man, because she apparently, her first child, she had a child by a baseball player, I believe, or basketball player, the first child, when she was very young. She married Chad Ochocinco for 2 days. Okay, and you know how that ended not well. Then she was all on TV crying and saying, you know, my gosh, she thought she was gonna be with him forever, and he busted her lip and busted her head, and et cetera, et cetera. And then 2 weeks later, she's engaged to another multi-millionaire man. So I'm not mad at her. I'm like, okay, go on, girl. The question becomes, what's wrong with these men? And when I say that to say this, Michelle. most of the time, I think most people would agree with this. People that are famous, have money, and et cetera, they like to have, quote unquote, the best. You got to live in the best neighborhoods. You want the biggest Bentley. You want the best, clothes. They've got to be custom made. You want the best jewelry. But then when it comes to a woman, you grab somebody else's leftovers.
Well, the thing about it is,
I'm just saying.
I know what you're saying, Tanya, but one man's trash is another man's treasure.
Apparently so.
I'm simply saying that might be what they consider to be the best. We got a Kanye West saying in a song, "My girl got rich off a home video." He knows this clearly. He married her. They have a child.
Michelle, please.
It happens all the time.
But
we got the Playboy bunny who Hugh Hefner gave her away to her now husband. What's her name? Kendra?
Yes.
One man's trash is another man's trash.
I'm going to say this, Michelle, please.
Maybe it's not trash at all. I don't know.
Could we? No. Let's do a show
where
we have men that are on the show and get their take on it.
I would like for them to send us some comments. I would love to hear it.
Send the comments.
Truthful comments.
Yes.
Nothing made up. But you know what? If you take a look, and we're going to close this down because this could go on and on, but if you take a look at some of the people, on a regular day, they wouldn't get an Evelyn Lasada. It just wouldn't happen. So that Evelyn,
ball playing man,
no, I said on a regular day, if they were a regular dude. If they're a regular dude on a regular day, walking down a regular street in a regular maintenance outfit, they're not going to get Evelyn Lasada. So maybe in their minds, they feel like they've hit pay dirt, as my dad would say. You've hit pay dirt. It's a wonderful thing. So, nothing against Carl Crawford, but he's not Darren Sharper.
No, he ain't.
Okay, nothing against you, dude. Nothing against you. But I'm simply saying maybe it's when
in his mind he feels like
that is the best.
Right.
That is the best.
Okay.
That is the best. So but I did one thing we want to mention before we exit this altogether. Wendy with the big mouth hasn't said a word.
Because Evelyn chopped her up. I don't know. I'm sure y'all know. I'm sure you know what she said. But anyway, in a nutshell, she said, "You don't need to talk. Your husband came into my store, bought shoes for another woman, and described the shoe." Ouch. That's an ouch moment, y'all. But we got to go back to that.
So back talk. This is Wendy Williams. We'd like to follow this a little further. Didn't you know Evelyn from?
No,
not Evelyn.
No, I didn't know Evelyn.
Well, if anybody knows Evelyn and has the real scoop on it, not just the fussing about the shoes, I would love to hear if they were friendly, but I think one of the comments that she did make on Twitter was, when you did your debut on Broadway, I sent you flowers. And so I think she felt like a friendship, a somewhat legitimate friendship was breached.
Yeah, she felt betrayed.
Betrayal. You think she's having problems with corpulence right now, or did she get that baby body back?
Don't worry. She'll get that back, honey. Don't you worry about that one.
Evelyn, we're going to send you one of these muffins. You think you might like it. Okay, so, that was some very interesting back talk. Okay, now.
Where they do that at?
Where they do that at? We need to talk about where they do that at.
Where they do that at?
This one, unfortunately, is not as comical as some of them can be. This one is actually quite sad. We're talking about Shanisha Taylor, the mother, the homeless mother, who went on an interview for a job and left her children in the car and has since been arrested for neglect. And so it's very, very disappointing and very sad, because it's one of those fine lines where this woman had no other option, but then there is the portion of the law that says you can't leave a 2-year-old and a 6-month-old in a car in Arizona with an inch of the windows cracked and keys in the ignition.
Again, I'm with you, Michelle.
But poor choice, error in judgment, no question.
But you know what? The woman had the right, she was trying to do the right thing. Right. And a lot of times we penalize people that are actually trying to do the right thing, and the ones that don't a bit more care about doing the right thing than the jaybirds behind, we let them off scot-free. Seriously, this woman, of course, that was not the best choice. It wasn't, and I'm sure.
It was a desperate choice.
It was a desperate choice. And sometimes people do desperate things, but it was to try to do something for her family, not to kill her children. This woman's trying to get a job to be able to take care care of her children. So, you know, and on the flip side, if she wasn't getting a job and maybe somebody found her on the street with children, maybe they would take her children away from her anyway to say, you know what, you can't take care of them. They looking like this, they looking like that. So it's kind of sad.
Well, you know, the law is one of those kind of slippery slopes because you never know which side you're going to fall on it. And in this case, we hope that whomever is overseeing this judicial process is going to do what's right. Now, what I have heard is that they've raised $100,000. A fund was started, and the person who started the fund was only looking to raise like $9,000, and they've raised $100,000. So there's a lot of money that will be available for her for legal expenses and whatever else. But you know, a very, very sad situation, and we hear about this all the time. There's so many stats on homeless women lead the population of homeless people, homeless mothers, I should say. Homeless mothers lead the population because most households are headed up by single women. And then most of them are very, very economically deficient as it relates to the rest of, you know, the United States. So
that's why I have such a big problem with our Congress. You're taking money away from programs that could help people like Shanisha. What's her name? Shanita?
Shanisha.
Shanisha. You know, if there was some kind of program where this woman didn't have to feel like she had to leave her children in the car, she could have taken them, dropped them off at a center that was paid for, you know, for single parents, and she could have went and gotten a job.
Well, you know what we like to do? We like to hear from you because we got a section called the spillover, and in the spillover, we just talk about what people told us from last shows. And let me tell you one thing: we did get some information from Dallas Diva Doll, who talked about that Behringer. She said she tried Chardonnay, and she said she can only say yay. She's a rapper. She made that rhyme. Regarding the empowerment, we had Lisa who said, let's all do our part to be sure that we are the change we want to see. So send us your comments, thespilltv.com and Instagram, Twitter, at Go With The Spill and hashtag The Spillover.
Please do that. And so we're gonna take a break at this time. But when we come back, we're gonna have our wonderful guest, Mr. Ed Downs. Ladies, we told you he was gonna be happy. Get ready to play the happy song.
Hercules. We'll be right back.
And we're back as promised with Mr. Ed Downs. First of all, Ed is a personal friend of mine. I'm just gonna put that out there because you're gonna hear me say some things and be like, no, she didn't. Yes, she didn't. Yes, she did. But let me give you some stats on Ed. This fabulous man. Okay, 5th degree black belt. In other words, don't start
Watch
nothing.
your back, baby.
Won't be nothing. Okay, 5th degree black belt. U.S. Hall of Fame inductee for martial arts, creator of the Downs disc. 1 second. Let me show. This is the Downs disc. And I want y'all to look at it very closely because I have been using it personally for almost 15 years or longer. And okay, I'm gonna say it again. I ain't just saying it because I'm saying it, but 53, awesome, and I got it. My stomach is all right. Okay, and it's courtesy of that man. So I just had to say that. Okay, Ed, thank you very much.
And personal trainer too.
Personal trainer too. Oh, y'all know him. Dwayne Wade, Penny Hardaway, Bosch, all the Heat players. He's the reason why they have 3 rings? Are they going on 4?
I'm reason for 2 of the 3.
You're 2 of the 3. Okay, that's good enough. That's good enough.
Back to back.
But Ed, you were telling me something when we talked earlier that I didn't know about. You're training what now?
Special op guys, military guys.
Special ops.
Trying to help them to be able to adapt to their environment. Like you have basketball players, football players. They do certain workouts to be able to adapt to the environment that they're in. These special op guys need the same thing. I mean, but they're trying to save our lives and theirs, so it's a little bit more intense than just trying to make a buzzer beater. You know, winning a game.
How did they come to you to get that training?
Come the best.
Come to the best.
No, they don't
No.
bragging if it's true.
I'm trying to tell you. Exactly.
Word gets around.
But you told me also that you were training some kids from Hong Kong.
Yeah, I have 25 kids coming in actually tomorrow from Hong Kong to learn how to train like the pros, so to speak. It's the first time I've ever done. They're coming to my gym.
Oh, that's awesome.
You have a gym. Tell us about your gym.
My gym's called Elite Athletes Performance. It's in Miami. And like I said, it's specialized for training kid athletes and trying to help them become collegiate and pros. Hopefully, that's the goal. We also work with all the top pro athletes as well. football, baseball, basketball in particular. Not hockey. We don't have a hockey rink. You don't see too many of us playing hockey.
You need to train them
I think
punters.
Popeye Jones still plays hockey now. Other than that,
That's
It's that whole ice skating thing, you know. We just didn't really do those winter sports too much. Us, but you know, we'll yield to somebody else. We'll let somebody else do that.
You know what, Ed, again, and I say this in all seriousness, like I said, I've known you for years, and again, you still look fabulous.
oh, I appreciate
Absolutely.
that.
Are you married?
See you? No.
Okay.
Oh, ladies. Okay, I'm sure our Twitter and Instagram is gonna blow up in like 2 seconds. Do not break my iPad with all of your comments, right? Hashtag I want Ed. Okay. But Ed, let's tell you, like on the show, we have what we have fab vocab, and we have a vocabulary that we introduce every day, every episode. And the word today was corpulence, and it was for a reason, which means fat ass, sort of. Sorry. It means large. It means portly. It's obese. And what we've seen over the past, I want to say 30, 40 years, a market evolution of the female body or the human body, especially in the African American community. We know that 4 out of 5 African American women are overweight or obese. 80% are obese. Obesity is unhealthy. It's dangerous. It's out of control. It's not just having a little something here that you pinch. It's a little more than that. So we're wondering, other than the fact that we had cafe and muffins, what do you think is what is part of that market evolution? Because I call it the evolution of the appearance of the Black woman. It has changed from when my mother was a young girl. My mom was a 6 up until she was about 50 or 60. We just don't see that as often. Tell me your take on it.
Well, you're looking many years back, 30, 40 years back, people were more active.
Yes. Okay.
I mean, you're not as active as now. I mean, you have a lot more professional Black women,
Yes.
and men as well. But,
Okay.
40 years ago, our moms were out there working, in not just the home, but the yard and everything. So it's a lot more, they weren't sedentary.
Okay.
It's hard to be a corporate, can I say Black woman?
Yes.
I mean, because
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely.
That's what
And a
we're looking
woman,
at. To
period,
me,
yeah, but
Yes.
Black women,
statistically, you're looking at that,
Yeah.
That's
60% more than
Then
the other.
That's
Right.
absolutely.
Right.
So now you have Black women very educated, doctorate degrees, etc. But they have a responsibility. So they have to take care of home. They have to take care of their job, which is a full-time job, responsibilities. Where do they find time to do that extra hour of workout?
Right.
I mean, it's
right.
because if you're active throughout the day, like you were when you weren't having that job, because mostly the husbands were the ones bringing home the bread, so to speak.
Right.
But now you're out there too. And I think family has changed. In general, you don't see now you see so many divorces,
Right.
for example.
Okay,
Whereas my mom and dad have been married for 50 years and they stick together through
It's really
thick and
changed,
thin.
yeah.
So my
through
mom
fat and skinny.
through fat and skinny. Amen. So
amen.
But
here's
I
my
can
mom who-
appreciate what you're saying because it's almost, I appreciate the recognition that things have changed as opposed to some of the things that we've heard. Some women are lazy, some don't care. There are a lot of finger pointing, but what you said is basic reality. This is the way we've evolved into a new type of lifestyle. But you have some women who still keep it tight. So, I mean, but that is a good way of looking at how it started. But now moving from that, what can those women do?
For example, let's get real technical.
Okay, let's get technical.
Get technical.
It's called take them damn muffins off that table.
We do a lot of finger pointing. I mean, there's different hypotheses. I mean, different studies have been done. For example, there's something called the 30 gene hypothesis. 10,000 years ago, I mean, food wasn't as easy to get to as it is nowadays. I mean, it's hard to find. You had to survive. You don't get it. You had to survive. So I mean, you're more active. You're moving more, and then when you finally get it, your body is going to hold on to it.
Okay.
Okay. So if your body's holding on to that, storing that fat, so to speak, so you can be able
survive.
to survive. You're able to move and be active throughout the next time you get some food.
Right.
Nowadays, there's such an abundance of food.
Yeah.
If this hypothesis is true, I mean, our bodies are still going to be genetically trying to hold on to this.
Right.
So now I have the muffins. I didn't know muffin. 10,000 years ago. No muffin sitting there on no nice wooden table in a beautiful home. So you didn't have that. You understand? With a latte, exactly. So now we have that. Yeah. So now if you start eating it, I mean, in general, that theory is you would continue to gain weight, therefore more obesity, et cetera. And then there's another part that bothers a lot of black women, but it's also been a study. It came out actually about a month ago, actually a year ago, March 2013. They found that their concern with hair was a big deal.
Yeah.
And it's a
and
fact.
they won't be active.
Their
Oh,
hairstyles.
listen,
So
I don't know
therefore-
how to swim because of my hair.
You understand?
Okay, my mom.
But it's a fact.
She's like, get that hair wet if you
therefore,
want to.
that does affect you. I mean, you're not trying to go around with a ponytail. You know, a lot of other ethnicities don't have that problem that we have, with our hair.
Okay.
So believe it or not, unfortunately, that did really affect black women working out.
Okay.
You know what? I got to cut across. I know you're expert. I know you're expert. And I just, you know what? I remember somebody said something to me one time that you can't give somebody want to.
Right.
You know, let me tell you something.
Right.
I had kids. I had a job. But you know what? One thing I wanted to do was take care of my physical appearance.
Exactly.
And you know what? If I had to sweat to
That's
do
right.
it, then that's what I did.
That's right.
Because what's the saying? Nobody want a pig with a butcher? Okay, okay. That's how that's what they, and I believe that. Most people don't want a pig.
Right.
That's
Okay,
right.
so therefore, in conclusion, you got to do something.
Well,
You have to
there's
do
one more thing I wanted to share with you,
Go
and I
ahead.
wanted to get your take on it. Now, they say that African American women have the highest level of self-esteem out of all other
Yes.
races. They're very comfortable with who
Yes,
they are.
that's right.
Question
That's a
is,
statistical fact.
okay, so
is.
they're very comfortable, and they find men who are comfortable with who they are. Do you think that my girl says it's self-hate, self-loathing? They're really not that comfortable. But do you see where they are finding this new body to be acceptable and okay, and they're living in it just fine? Absent of health issues, of course.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. I mean, as we know, black men, we tend to like, women that are a little bit.
Well, oh, Lord Jesus, what? I'm
a
trying to
little
tell
bit
you.
healthier, or in our terms, we call it fleshier, but it's thicker. whatever you
Baby
wanna call it.
got back.
Right. But even with TV and media and magazines, you see the model types is slim, but black women are not really affected by that.
Right.
So that is a fact.
Okay.
Oh my God, we got to. Unfortunately, we got to wrap it up.
I'm sorry.
But we need one tip. Tell us one thing that you would tell women who are trying to get on that road to wellness and health. Just one thing.
Your ass
In the
up.
gym. And stay away from the muffins. Oh my God. Thank you so much.
Thank you, baby. Thank you so much.
Pleasure
And
having you
God
here.
bless you. Continue to
girl.
do what you're doing.
Will do.
And
You
remember,
continue to do what
ladies,
you're doing.
I'm going to continue to do what I'm doing. And remember, he is single. Ed Downs.
Yeah, and when we come back, we'll go to my minute, Michelle's minute. We'll be right back. It will only take a minute to share with you how truly disheartened I am that in this land of milk and honey, this America, single mothers lead the homeless population and that there are more animal shelters than homeless. As a single mother to my baby boy, who's actually 20 years old and still my baby, I would do anything for him, including laying down my life. Shanisha Taylor made a choice which clearly was impaired by her desperation to find employment so that she could feed, clothe, and house her children. But who among us wouldn't do whatever it took to take care of our loved ones? Many single mothers deserve our applause for doing double duty, but some need our compassion, encouragement, and even our generosity. So donate your gently used clothing, volunteer your time building a home for mother and child, or just serve as a mentor by sharing your special gift with a mother in need. Give of your time, give of your talent, and give of your treasure to create a better life for someone else. Call your local shelter and get involved. It will only take a minute.
Well, Michelle, we have come to the end of another fabulous show.
And it saddens me because I have a great time.
I do
I have a
too.
great time.
But you know what? You can
Enjoying this
talk.
coffee. Well, honey, listen, my mom used to tell me when I was little, shut your mouth, stop all that talking. Well, now I get paid to do it. So I'm doing exactly what I love.
Me too, girl. I'm absolutely loving it. And Ed, again, we want to thank Ed Downs for joining us. Fabulous interview, Ed. And
And I
again,
just need
much
to-
continued success. So, Michelle, we've got to look forward to the next show.
Yes, we do, we
so,
do.
as we always do when we're closing, what do we tell everybody?
You could go with the flow, but don't go with the flow.
Come on. Go with the spill. And we'll see you next week.
Don't be shy, it's just you and I. So listen up and show me your step. Get steady, steady, hey steady, steady. 'Cause I'm feeling you tonight. Ain't got no problem showing you exactly what